For 6 glorious seasons, Fran Drescher didn't just play Fran fine. She created her, wrote her, and turned a girl from Flushing, Queens into a global icon. But what she did after The Nanny ended? She went from Hollywood's funniest nanny to leading 160,000 actors into the longest actors' strike Hollywood had seen in more than 40 years. The strike lasted 118 days, nearly 4 months. But that's not even the most surprising thing when you look at where this cast is today. Before we get started, tell me honestly, who did you sit next to on the living room floor when that unforgettable theme song played? Was it your mom? Your sister? Your best friend? Drop a quick comment below. I absolutely love reading your memories. Now, today we're catching up with the entire cast of The Nanny, and we're doing it right. No filler, no clickbait, just the people you love and where life has taken them by 2026. And we're starting with a face you absolutely adore, right now. Every great leading lady needs an unforgettable best friend, and nobody played the lovably clueless sidekick quite like Rachel Chagall. As Val Torriello, she was the girl who walked into every scene and made Fran Fine look like a genius by comparison. That wide-eyed confusion, those perfectly timed misunderstandings. Val wasn't just the funny friend, she was the loyal one. No matter how little she understood, she always showed up. But here's what most fans never knew. Rachel Chagall isn't even her real name. She was born Rachel Levin in New York City back in 1952. She took the stage name Chagall because another actress had already registered the name Rachel Levin. And the reason she chose Chagall? The legendary painter Marc Chagall was her grandmother's first cousin. Long before Val ever stumbled through the Sheffield mansion doors, Rachel had already earned one of Hollywood's highest honors. In 1987, she starred as Gabriella Brimmer in the biographical film Gabby, A True Story. The real-life journey of a young Mexican woman living with cerebral palsy. Her performance earned her a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a Drama. And what made that performance even more remarkable? Just 5 years earlier, in 1982, Rachel herself had been diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a devastating neurological condition. She fought her way back, stepped in front of the cameras, and delivered something extraordinary. Today, Rachel Chagall is 73 years old. She stepped away from acting in 2006 to raise her twins. And here's a detail that will make every Nanny fan smile. Her real-life twins, born in 1999, their names are Eve and Jonah. The exact same names Fran Fine gave her twins on the show. Coming up next is a woman whose character was so wonderfully eccentric that she stole every scene. But her real life is an even more incredible story, one that stretches all the way back to a failed chemistry exam at Stanford University. Stay with me. I promised you a story that begins with a failed chemistry exam. Here it is. Back in the late 1940s, a young woman from Minneapolis enrolled at Stanford University to become a nurse. Then, freshman chemistry happened. She got a D. That very same semester, she spotted auditions for Uncle Tom's Cabin on a campus bulletin board. She walked in, read for a part, got it, and changed her major to speech and drama on the spot. She never looked back. That young woman was Anne Morgan Gilbert. And that one failed exam gave us over 6 decades of pure joy. Long before Yetta, Anne had already made television history as Millie Helper on The Dick Van Dyke Show. 61 episodes across 5 seasons. She was America's favorite neighbor before the word sitcom was part of everyday language. Then, 3 decades later, at 65 years old, she stepped into the role that would introduce her to an entirely new generation. Yetta Rosenberg, Fran Fine's gloriously confused grandmother. 56 episodes of forgetting where she was, saying things she absolutely should not have said, and making every single one of us laugh until our sides hurt. She also won a Helen Hayes Award for her stage work in The Immigrant. Anne Morgan Gilbert left us in June of 2016 at the age of 87. She worked right up until the very end, finishing episodes of Life in Pieces on CBS just weeks before she passed. And her daughter is someone you know, Hallie Todd, who played Jo McGuire, Lizzie's mom, on Disney Channel's Lizzie McGuire. Mother and daughter both became beloved TV moms for different generations. From the grandmother who always forgot what decade it was, to the mother who never once forgot to eat. If you remember Sylvia Fine, you know exactly who I'm talking about. If Yetta was the heart of the family, then Sylvia Fine was the appetite. Nobody on 1990s television loved food the way Sylvia loved food. Renee Taylor brought Sylvia to life for 94 episodes, turning a Jewish mother obsessed with feeding her daughter and finding her a husband into one of the most quotable characters in sitcom history. But Renee was a powerhouse long before the Sheffield mansion. Born Renee Adoree Wexler in the Bronx in 1933, her mother named her after the silent film star Renee Adoree. Together with her husband Joseph Bologna, she co-wrote the Broadway hit Lovers and Other Strangers in 1968. The film adaptation earned them an Academy Award nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay in 1971. She didn't just act, she wrote her way to the Oscars. And here's a detail that always makes me smile. In the early 1960s, when Renee was performing stand-up at a little New York nightclub called the Bonsoir, her opening act was a young girl nobody had heard of yet, named Barbra Streisand. Today, Renee Taylor is 93 years old, and she is still performing. As recently as March 2026, she brought her one-woman show, My Life on a Diet, to the Plaza Theater in Palm Springs, a show she co-wrote with her late husband, Joseph Bologna. At 93, still on stage, still making people laugh, still honoring the love of her life through their words. We've met the grandmother, we've met the mother. It's time to meet the kids. And the youngest member of the Sheffield family took a path after the nanny that left fans speechless. Remember the mischievous middle child who always had a scheme up his sleeve? That was Brighton Sheffield, and the kid who played him made a decision after the nanny ended that almost nobody in Hollywood makes. He walked away on his own terms. Benjamin Salisbury was just 12 years old when he was cast as Brighton in 1993. He'd already appeared alongside Martin Short in Captain Ron in 1992, and later showed up in D3 The Mighty Ducks. He won a Young Artist Award for Best Actor in a Comedy Series in 1996. But when the cameras stopped in 1999, Benjamin didn't chase the next audition. He enrolled at American University in Washington, D.C., and graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism, magna cum laude, Dean's List, 6 times. During college, he interned for United States Representative Richard Gephardt, the House Minority Leader. Today, Benjamin is 45 years old. Since 2022, he has held a senior leadership role in park operations at Universal Studios Hollywood. From child star to the man who keeps one of the biggest entertainment destinations in the world running every day. And between scenes on set, he used to treat the studio audience to improvisational dance routines when the cameras weren't rolling. The kid had moves we never got to see on television. If Brighton walked away quietly, his little sister took the exact opposite road. And the transformation is one of the most dramatic in 90s TV history. Madeline Zima was 7 years old when she became Gracie Sheffield, the wide-eyed, impossibly smart youngest child who saw a therapist before she hit double digits. For 6 seasons, she was television's most adorable little girl. But Madeline had been performing since before she could form complete sentences. She started at age 2, a television commercial for Downy fabric softener. Her first film was The Hand That Rocks the Cradle in 1992, which also happened to be the debut of Julianne Moore. Both launched their careers from the same movie. After The Nanny wrapped, little Gracie proved she had serious range. In 2007, she was cast as Mia Lewis in the Showtime series Californication, alongside David Duchovny, a role so radically different from sweet little Gracie that audiences could barely believe it was the same person. She then joined Heroes on NBC as Gretchen Berg and appeared in David Lynch's Twin Peaks: The Return in 2017. Today, Madeline is 40 years old. Her last name means winter in Polish, from her maternal grandfather who emigrated from Poland. She has 2 younger sisters, Vanessa and Yvonne, both working actresses. We've caught up with Brighton and Gracie, but there's still one Sheffield sibling we haven't found yet, the eldest daughter. And she happens to come from a real-life acting dynasty. 3 siblings, 3 actors, and all 3 made it in Hollywood. That's not luck, that's something in the bloodline. Nicholle Tom played the sweet, boy-crazy eldest daughter Maggie Sheffield for all 6 seasons of The Nanny. Before that, she'd made a name for herself as Rice Newton in Beethoven in 1992 and its sequel in '93. But here's what truly sets Nicholle apart. She became the defining voice of Supergirl, Kara, throughout the DC animated universe, across Superman, the animated series, the new Batman Adventures, and Justice League. From Maggie Sheffield to Supergirl. Her twin brother, David Tom, became well known for playing Billy Abbott on The Young and the Restless. Her older sister, Heather Tom, is a multiple Emmy winner for her roles on The Young and the Restless, and The Bold and the Beautiful. 3 siblings, 3 careers, 1 remarkable family. Today, Nicholle Tom is 48 years old. Seeing these 3 Sheffield kids all grown up really brings it all back, doesn't it? Let me know down below, which Sheffield kid was your absolute favorite? And how many of you had a little crush on Maggie or Brighton back in the day? Confess in the comments. I read every single one. We've reunited with the children, honored Grandma Yetta, caught up with Mama Sylvia and best friend Val. Now it's time to meet the people who really ran that house. And the first one walked away from Hollywood entirely to do something no one expected. She was the woman you loved to hate and secretly loved to love. The razor-sharp, perfectly coiffed C.C. Babcock. Lauren Lane played Maxwell Sheffield's ambitious business partner for all 6 seasons. The Ice Queen who clashed with Fran at every turn and traded verbal grenades with Niles on a daily basis. Before The Nanny, Lauren played the female lead, Sergeant Chris Novak, opposite Fred Drescher in the final season of Hunter on NBC in 1991. She also earned an LA Critics Award and multiple Beiden Payne Awards for her stage work. But here's where Lauren Lane's story takes its most beautiful turn. After The Nanny ended, Lauren didn't chase the next pilot season. She moved to Texas, and she became a professor. Since 2004, she has been on the faculty of the Department of Theater and Dance at Texas State University in San Marcos. And she's still teaching there as of 2026. From the queen of the Sheffield Empire to a dedicated educator shaping the next generation of actors. And in 2015, she reunited with her old sparring partner, Daniel Davis, Niles himself, for a one-night staging of R. Gurney's Love Letters. CeCe and Niles together again on a real stage, with all proceeds going to the Texas State BFA acting program. Today, Lauren Lane is 65 years old. And speaking of Niles, the man who made an entire generation believe that a boy from Arkansas was actually a proper English butler. He's next. And wait until you hear where he ended up. A boy from Arkansas who convinced the entire world he was British. Let me tell you how that happened. Daniel Davis was born on November 26, 1945, in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. His parents ran a local movie theater in nearby Gurdon. He spent his childhood surrounded by flickering screens and the smell of popcorn. And something about that darkened room called to him. His first performing role came at age 11, a local children's TV show called Betty's Little Rascals, broadcast out of Little Rock. From there, he trained at the Arkansas Arts Center, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, the Stratford Shakespeare Festival, and spent 6 years with the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. He performed in nearly every Shakespeare play ever written. He sang in musicals. He taught acting classes. And then Hollywood called. But Daniel didn't want to go. He's said it plainly. He never saw himself doing film. He had classical training for the stage, and that's where his heart was. But his agents explained he needed a TV quotient. Audiences had to recognize his face. So he went west, reluctantly, and auditioned for pilots that never got picked up. Then came the audition that changed everything. He walked in to read for the part of a butler with a British accent, and found himself up against the legendary Roddy McDowall. He remembers thinking, "Oh, why am I even here?" But he got the part, and for 6 seasons, Daniel Davis became Niles, the deadpan, acid-tongued, magnificently petty butler of the Sheffield household. His English accent was so flawless that viewers across Britain wrote angry letters to the network, insisting he was doing a terrible imitation, completely unaware that the man they thought was faking it was born and raised in the American South. Meanwhile, Charles Shaughnessy, who played Maxwell and who actually is English, was the one they assumed was the real deal. Beyond The Nanny, Daniel brought that same impeccable accent to Professor Moriarty, on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Star Trek: The Next Generation. First in 1988, again in 93, and then 3 decades later on Star Trek Picard. Star Trek Picard in 2023. The theater world honored him too. A Tony nomination for Wrong Mountain in 2000, and an Obie Award for Talking Heads in 2003. Today, Daniel Davis is 80 years old. The boy from the movie theater in Gurdon, Arkansas, who never wanted to leave the stage, gave us one of the most beloved television characters of the 90s. And he did it with an accent he learned not from London, but from Shakespeare. Only one more person between us and the woman who started it all. And he happens to be a real-life British aristocrat who studied law at Cambridge before trading the courtroom for the Sheffield living room. If Daniel Davis made America believe an Arkansas boy was English, Charles Shaughnessy had the opposite problem. He actually is English, and nobody believed him. Charles George Patrick Shaughnessy was born February 9, 1955, in London. His father, Alfred Shaughnessy, was the principal writer of Upstairs, Downstairs. His mother, Jean Lodge, was an actress. He attended Eton College and read law at Magdalen College, Cambridge, where he wrote his thesis on the House of Lords. While there, he joined the legendary Footlights comedy revue. And then he did what any sensible Cambridge law graduate would do. He threw it all away to become an actor. He moved to America, married actress Susan Fallender in 1983, and they are still together today, over 43 years later. In 1984, he was cast as Shane Donovan on Days of Our Lives, where his romance with Patsy Pease's Kimberly Brady turned them into one of daytime television's most beloved super couples, earning 3 Soap Opera Digest Awards. Then, in 1993, he became Maxwell Sheffield, the buttoned-up British Broadway producer who could never quite admit that the loud, flashy woman from Queens had completely stolen his heart. 6 seasons of that slow-burning, will they, won't they tension that kept millions glued to their screens. And here's the detail that makes this story richer. Charles Shaughnessy isn't just an actor who played a wealthy Englishman. He is the 5th Baron Shaughnessy, a genuine hereditary title. His great-grandfather, Thomas Shaughnessy, was president of the Canadian Pacific Railway. Maxwell Sheffield was distinguished on screen. Charles Shaughnessy is distinguished in real life. He also won a Daytime Emmy for voicing Dennis the Goldfish on the Disney animated series Stanley. And most recently, he has been playing Victor Cassadine on General Hospital on ABC. Today, Charles Shaughnessy is 71 years old, still married to the same woman he followed across the Atlantic over 4 decades ago. All right, we've met the butler, we've met the boss, we've honored the grandmother and the mother and the best friend and all 3 children. There is only one person left, and you already know who she is. Remember what I told you at the very beginning of this video? That she went from Hollywood's funniest nanny to leading 160,000 actors into the biggest strike Hollywood had seen in over 60 years. That was not an exaggeration. That was Fran Drescher. Francine Joy Drescher was born September 30th, 1957, in Flushing, Queens. Her mother, Sylvia, was a bridal consultant. Her father, Morty, was a naval systems analyst. She attended Hillcrest High School in Jamaica, Queens, and one of her classmates was a kid named Ray Romano. 2 future sitcom legends in the same hallways with no idea what was coming. Her first screen appearance? A tiny role as a dancer named Connie in Saturday Night Fever in 1977, alongside a young John Travolta. From there, she appeared in films like This Is Spinal Tap, talented, funny, memorable, but not yet a star. Then, in 1991, everything changed on an airplane. Fran struck up a conversation with Jeff Sagansky, then the president of CBS, on a transatlantic flight. She persuaded him to let her pitch a sitcom. There was just one problem. She didn't have an idea yet. The inspiration came in London, visiting her friend, the supermodel Twiggy. While shopping with Twiggy's teenage daughter, Fran noticed how she naturally slipped into this role. Not quite a parent, more like a fun older sister giving what she called Queen's logic, self-serving advice. She called her husband Peter Mark Jacobson and pitched it as a spin on The Sound of Music. Except, instead of Julie Andrews, I Come to the Door. And Fran Fine was born. The Nanny ran 6 seasons on CBS, 1993 to 99. Fran co-created it, co-wrote it, and executive produced it. She earned 2 Emmy nominations and 2 Golden Globe nominations for Best Actress in a Comedy. The show became a global sensation. But the chapter after The Nanny? That's the one that truly defines her. Fran survived uterine cancer in 2000. She turned that into action, founding the Cancer Schmancer movement, lobbying Congress, and helping pass the Gynecologic Cancer Education and Awareness Act. She served as a U.S. State Department public diplomacy envoy under 2 presidential administrations. She wrote best-selling books, starred in Living with Fran and Happily Divorced, voiced Eunice in the Hotel Transylvania franchise, made her Broadway debut in Cinderella in 2014. Then, in 2021, she was elected president of SAG-AFTRA. On July 14, 2023, she announced the strike. Her speech, raw, impassioned, unscripted, went viral around the world. The girl from Flushing, who once refused to cross a picket line as a fictional character on a sitcom, was now leading the real picket line for an entire industry. The strike lasted 5 months. It ended with a deal. She led a second strike against video game publishers in 2024 through 2025, then stepped down. Sean Astin succeeded her. And she didn't slow down. In December 2025, Fran appeared in Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme, playing the mother of Timothée Chalamet's character, a film that has earned over $190 million worldwide. Today, Fran Drescher is 68 years old. She is an actress, a writer, a producer, a cancer survivor, a health advocate, a labor leader, and she is still, after all these years, unmistakably, unapologetically, beautifully, the girl from Queens. Before we go, there is someone we need to honor. Someone who made us laugh in ways we didn't expect, who brought warmth to every room she entered, real or fictional. Anne Morgan Gilbert. Her final curtain. She was 65 years old when she first walked onto the set of The Nanny as Yetta Rosenberg, and for 6 seasons, she reminded us that growing older doesn't mean growing quiet. Yetta was loud. She was confused. She was wildly inappropriate. And she was absolutely wonderful. Anne's career stretched across more than 6 decades, from Millie Helper in the 60s to Yetta in the 90s, all the way to her final episodes of Life in Pieces. She never stopped performing. The stage was her first love, and it stayed with her until the very end. In June of 2016, Anne Morgan Gilbert left us at the age of 87. She once fell into acting because of a bad grade in chemistry. The world is so much richer because of that D. We carry her laughter with us, always. You know, there's a reason you clicked on this video today. And it wasn't just to find out what happened to the cast of The Nanny. It's because somewhere inside you, there's a memory. Maybe it's a Wednesday evening. Maybe it's the sound of that theme song drifting in from the next room. Maybe it's the feeling of sinking into the old family sofa next to someone you loved. Your mom, your dad, your grandmother, with the remote control resting on the armrest and nowhere else in the world you needed to be. Those evenings didn't feel special at the time. They were just ordinary. But looking back now, they were everything. Time changes us all. It changed Fran Drescher from a nanny into a movement leader. It turned little Gracie into a woman performing alongside David Duchovny. Brighton became the man running Universal Studios. Babcock became a beloved professor. And the boy from an Arkansas movie theater became a Shakespearean legend. But the one thing time can never change: the way those shows made us feel. The way that laughter sounded echoing from the kitchen while dinner was cooking. The way everything felt safe for just 30 minutes. So here's what I want to ask you. Which of these transformations surprised you the most today? Was it Benjamin behind the scenes at Universal? Lauren in her Texas classroom? Fran standing at that podium? Tell me in the comments. And if you could travel back in time, just for one evening, to sit on that sofa again, next to the person you're thinking of right now, with The Nanny playing, and not a single worry in the world, what would you give to do it? Share your stories below. I read every single one of them, and they mean more to me than you will ever know. If this video brought back a good memory, do me a small favor. Hit that like button so more people like us can find their way here. And if you haven't already, subscribe and tap that bell. We do this every week, honoring the shows and the people who made our childhoods extraordinary. No clickbait, no gossip, just the truth, told with the respect these legends deserve. Thank you for watching. Thank you for remembering. And thank you, truly, for being here.